Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series.
Here we are. We're back again. Adam, how's it going?
Back again. It's fine. It continues to go. It's so crazy that after this episode, there's only 3 chapters left because I feel like there's so much more to talk about with this book.
Yeah, are there? I was going to ask that, not on the podcast, but separately. But yeah, how many? There's 3 chapters left, and then that's it. We're done. That's so weird.
It's Priori, Incantatem, Veritas Serum, the final goodbye or parting of the ways, and then the beginning, and then that's it.
Right. That's weird. I feel like there's more. Doesn't that feel like really quick? Maybe the next chapter is almost like 40 minutes.
Veritas Serum is very long. I know that.
Yeah.
Because it's a couple big monologues, basically.
Yeah. We get another 1 act.
Yeah. One-man show.
Yeah. And I'll let you decide if you want to include this or not. I don't know about you, but I have not had any interest on my end about us doing a live episode, so we don't need to do that. No one has said anything to me. So.
Oh, you mean from the listeners, not yourself?
From the listeners.
Well, Ari, that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, my mistake.
Bitch. This week we read chapter 34 called Priori Incantatem. I will tell you, Ari, this week I listened to the chapter because we were out and about beforehand. So,
oh, wonderful!
I have thoughts about some of the delivery going on here, but this chapter is called Priori Incantatem. Ari, what happens in this chapter?
Harry and Voldemort discover a new spell reaction. Harry and Voldemort are gagged.
Yes, they're slayed.
They don't know what to do with themselves. This is a completely new thing that they are witnessing. Both of them. This is unfamiliar to both of them, which is a little hard for me to believe with Mr. Lord Voldemort over here, who like clearly is like the greatest wizard no one else is doing it like him, apparently. So I'm just like, which is it? But yeah, that's what happens in this chapter.
What's the truth?
That's what happens in this chapter. They both are just like, what the fuck? What's this? Before you even get into it, I want to say that I think this is the best chapter in this book. Oh, okay. Elaborate. Why do you feel that way?
I think it's really, for the amount that really doesn't happen in the chapter, like action wise, it's still so gripping because everything is so new, even to the characters, which is exciting because to have Voldemort be surprised is like a fun surprise for us. And I think it's like, I don't want to say this. I think it's like written well, and you can like clearly see it in your mind's eye. I have one quibble of one line in this chapter, but other than that, like I don't think it's like so out of the realm that I have too many questions about why it's happening. I kind of believe why no one understands that this has ever happened before.
Yeah,
because later on we figure out that. Or no, we already know that it's the same. We don't know that it's Fox, but it's the same Phoenix. It's the twin brother of the wands are twins.
Yeah. The wands are twins. That's all you need to know.
Can I ask a question? Oh no, never mind. I'm not going to ask that question.
Wait till
answered in my head.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, I think we do talk about it in this book, the wands. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's in 2 chapters. Yeah. I thought for a second that Voldemort had the Elder Wand, but that is in someone else's.
Yes,
that correct. Is someone else has that wand currently. Correct. I will not be discussing it here.
We'll never
come
know.
up
You'll
later.
never know, listeners. You have to wait to find out. Well,
Yeah, I
so
think
then
it's really
what was your, you had some things you wanted to mention though about the delivery? You want to say that now or wait till?
There is one line. The line Frank says when he comes out doesn't make sense. And I'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I have a general problem with Lily coming out and being like, your dad's on his way, don't worry, it's just me, but honestly your dad is coming and I know that's who you're most excited for. Like, girl, shut up.
You know, I wrote an entire dissertation on that moment.
I'm so annoyed.
So the chapter opens basically with Wormtail not untying Harry, but he like slashes his binds. And Harry does consider running like as soon as he's free, but his leg is too injured. So he's kind of like, there wouldn't be a point in me running because then I would just be running away and he would just kill me as I ran away. And then I took note of the fact that she mentioned Wormtail gave him his wand without looking at him. Just because I'm not sure if we're supposed to read into that being he does kind of, because later in this book series, Peter Pettigrew has a moment of weakness that he suffers for. And I'm wondering if we're getting like a little sneak preview of that this is like him trying not to interact with Harry just because obviously he's his ex-best friend's like child.
Right. It's also, I think, yes. And she won't let us forget that he looks just like Harry or just like James.
Yeah.
So I think it's also that too of being like, he
can't look at him.
He looks like the person that I had killed basically.
Yeah.
But I do think you're right that I think this may be even a little tiny foreshadowing of what's to come.
Right. So Voldemort asks Harry if he knows how to duel and if he's familiar with dueling etiquette. And to which Harry in his mind is like, my only experience with any dueling was in my second year, which was a complete joke because as we remember, Lockhart led that.
Right.
Hogwarts. That is the only dueling experience that these children have. Why is there not a dueling class? Minerva. Girl,
what are
get
we
on
doing?
it.
What are we doing in Defense Against the Dark Arts?
Is that not why we have that class? Lupin never thought it would be cool to talk about I'm just like, I'm starting to get angry. Like it's like asking the question so many times at this point. Like I was like, this child is 14 years old and he really does not know how to duel at all. Like I'm just like,
the only reason I'll give her an out is like, if dueling is supposed to be archaic at this point, like the reason that it's not around is because like the same reason there's not like dueling of guns modernly today.
Okay.
Like you don't, modernly is not a word, but like you don't like walk 10 paces and then shoot each other. We've just kind of decided we're all past that.
Okay.
That's the only out I can give her.
Right. I mean, it's weird too that
but of course Voldemort like loves wizard tradition. Yeah. And so he'd love to be like,
it's just weird that like, I don't know, that you're wizards. So like anyone can pull their wand out and like cast a spell at any moment of any day. You would think, okay, like when we went to driving school, how it was like, be a defensive driver, like learn how to drive in a way that like protects yourself and those in the car. Like you're anticipating, what to do in those situations. So if something happens, you know how you're supposed to respond. Like just something like that.
Right.
It's like defensive dueling club. Like Defense Against the Dark Arts. Like why are they not going over that in this class? Fine. Lockhart is one thing. Lupin, come on. So I know I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I was like, wow, that is really weird that the only time they had any experience with dueling was second year.
Right.
So Voldemort encourages Harry to bow to him because he says that Dumbledore would want Harry to remember his manners, which is just like, he's just taunting him. He's just like being a dick, you know, he's just doing the thing. So of course Harry doesn't want to bow. So then Voldemort imperiouses him. And then after he imperiouses him, he's basically like, and now we duel Crucio. Like he just doesn't give Harry a second to even breathe. So then Harrio is Crucio'd again. And then Voldemort continues taunting him.
When he makes him bow, is it imperious or is it just a random? Because when he imperiouses him later, it's like a whole thing.
So what is that then?
Bowacula.
Bow now, brown cow.
Reverentia.
Reverentia? What's reverentia?
Like reverential. Yeah, thank you.
Reverential.
To revere.
Yeah, that's true. To revere. Yeah, that's true. He did say he didn't have that like blissful feeling. So I guess it wasn't imperious. So he does some other charm where he can control Harry's body. I'm just like,
yeah. He's very powerful.
Yes. Then Crucio's him, and then continues taunting him. So then Voldemort tries this. He does, in fact, try to imperious him. But Harry is able to resist. And he basically says, Voldemort's trying to get him to say, no, I don't want you to do that again. That was bad. And to which it's like, just say no. And then Harry yells out loud, I won't. And so then Voldemort is kind of like, oh, okay, you don't want to say that? Oh, okay. Well, I'm no more Mr. Nice Guy. The gloves are coming off. And then, I'm sorry, listeners, I realize that this is a very serious, intense chapter. I'm not making light of the fact that there's a 14-year-old boy that's battling this crazy, scary old adult man. But
if you say what I think you're about to say, you and RJ had the exact same thought.
I should first mention that Harry has kind of accepted that he's going to die already. He's like, I'm going to die. There's no way for me to get out of this. I'm going to die just like Cedric did. He specifically has that thought because it's kind of hard not to think that way when there's literally a dead body right next to you. Your friend's dead body right next to you. Not his reflexes born of his Quidditch training. Not this. Not the reflexes born of the Quidditch training. I was like, this is the one skill this boy has. Of course she has to mention it. Dive, dodge. I was just like, what are we doing? I didn't need that. I could have just Harry acting on impulse, Harry acting out of blind intuition, whatever. I was like, okay, I know he's really good at Quidditch. I know. I just didn't need it.
I get it. I swear I get it.
I just didn't need it. I don't know. So the Quidditch training thing happened. I literally said, not his reflexes born of his Quidditch training, LMAO. That's literally what my note is. Is that what RJ said? What did RJ say?
No, RJ's note was there's a moment, I think it's in the section you were talking about where Harry's kind of resigned himself to the fact that he's going to die. And he is he basically has a moment where he's like, Harry knew that this was the end because this time his mother wasn't around to take a bullet for him, is basically the line. And I was like, why? Yeah.
There was no one to protect him.
Right.
So Harry lunges behind Voldemort's father's grave. And then this is a very brave moment from Harry, especially the fact that he is 14 years old. I'm trying to think of myself at 14 in this moment. And I don't know if I would have been able to. I understand the thought of well, I don't want to die sniveling, groveling, or whatever. I understand that, but it still is just it's literally just like almost like your animal brain. Your animal brain just wants to survive. So like that part of you,
right?
it's so hard to like.
Here's what I'll say. Harry and I are very different people, and it takes all kinds, you know.
Yeah.
There's two reasons I would not be in this situation right now.
We would have already
Number
laughed at
one
Voldemort's nose, so we would have been dead
is
already.
I would probably have been stopped at when I walked into the mist and the world turned upside down in the third task. I'd probably still be there. I probably wouldn't be able to get out, to be quite honest.
And I'm a woman, so you know I would have met the same fate as Fleur, and I would have been fourth
honestly,
anyway.
But before that, let's talk about the real tea why I wouldn't be in this situation. When my fucking name came out of the Goblet of Fire, I would have been like, no, I'm not doing this. Fuck off. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, correct.
That's
correct. So Harry shows immense bravery in this moment. And of course, this is more of a roll my eyes moment. It just JK, because it's another like, he was going to die standing up straight backed like his father. And it was another moment of that where I was like,
yeah.
Okay. I understand what James did was brave. I'm not negating that. Why are we always talking about James? Lily literally was standing in front of this baby's crib.
It's so weird because the first book specifically definitely I feel like equalizes Lily and James in their sacrifice of Harry. And even more so is like, but it's Lily's love that saved him. There's really nothing in the first book that is like specifically about how James whatever. Like it's really not
like
until book 2 that it
basically.
becomes like right.
It's also just weird to me because we later will get a lot about how bright Lily was and how she was like basically the Hermione Granger of her year.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she just didn't even have a wand. She didn't even try to, maybe that was what she had to do? Like she had to just willingly sacrifice herself for her child for the protection to be over him. I don't know, but I'm just like, it's just weird to me that, I don't know. It's just weird to me that she was this amazing, wonderful, powerful witch. And then they didn't even have a little showdown, her and Voldemort. Anyways, so then he stands up, he comes out from behind the grave, and at the same moment, he and Voldemort shout their spells. Harry yells Expelliarmus, and Voldemort yells Avada Kedavra. And then their wands
Expelliarmus
connect.
God, at least try fucking spell.
At least try Expecto Patronum, and maybe your Patronus will run down Voldemort. I mean,
try any spell. Stupefy is the one I probably would have used. The stunning spell.
Point me. What if he just quieted? What if he quietist him? And then he was like, Avada. Just like it didn't happen.
Doesn't work.
So their wands connect. Their wands. The spells conjoin.
The spells join.
The spells join in the middle.
Sure.
What is this? Mitosis? Is it
sure. I hated science, so I couldn't tell you.
Mitosis, is that what it is? Someone's gonna be like, absolutely not. It was blah blah. Mitosis. Which one was it? Where they could join together?
Symbiosis.
Mm-hmm. The spells connect, and by connect I mean a shimmering golden light appears. Did you think this part was funny? Were you laughing at this part? The shimmering
the
golden
spell?
light. Yeah, no. The shimmering golden light. The golden light. There's a shimmering
Mhm.
golden light that forms, and then it
Okay.
raises them up over to
Oh,
a patch
yes.
of grass without graves. And the idea of them floating, not just them floating, but the Death Eaters like running after them. Just the group of Death Eaters.
It's very much
so funny to me.
it's very much when the bank president in Mary Poppins starts laughing at the very
Yes,
end,
yes.
and everyone's trying to get him back down.
Yes, that's like literally. Yeah, literally that. Just like them floating up. Their wands are like this, and then they like float up in the air around to do like another patch of grass. Which I was like, okay, so they can't be on. They can't be on like the graveyard is considered sacred ground. They have to like. It was weird that they even moved for me. I was like, you're moving them out
I
of the
kind
grave.
of just wanted them to be just like in the air.
Yeah, like levitating, fine. Like rise it because this like dome, this golden
powerful
dome
force
appears around
field.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspends gravity or whatever.
But the image of the Death Eaters just like chasing after them, like
Yeah.
I was like, it was just comical to me.
They just got like moved, like you're in The Sims or
Yeah,
like Roller Coaster
exactly.
Tycoon. You just
Yes.
pick them up and then put them somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. Blah, 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 blah. In the Somme.
Yes.
How you can do that?
Yeah.
Put me down. It's just like, I was like, what the heck? So then the Death Eaters like rush after them and then like circle around them again. And I was just like, JK, why did you do that? I didn't need all that. So the golden light expands.
It's very like clowns come out of a clown car and have the like trampoline under Dumbo as he jumps from the burning building.
It was just so, I was like, this is so weird. It was such a vivid image in my mind that I was like giggling as I was laughing to it, even though it's this like really intense, serious moment. I was just like, I don't know why they needed to be levitated to another area. I just was like, why do they need to move at all? It was weird. So
stay put.
Yeah, there just wasn't a reason to move them, in my opinion. I was like, wait, why are we doing this? So the golden light expands into a golden dome, and we are at Notre Dame University.
# Notre Dame.
So that it separates Harry and Voldemort from the Death Eaters, and then Voldemort is like yelling at them not to interfere, and I was like, I'm sorry, you think they can get to you in here? Have you not seen the magical golden dome, Voldy? Like, what is wrong with you? Leave it. I will take care of it. No one can even help you if you wanted help. He just is so...
Yeah.
Do you know the person that it's like, when like they're like sick or if they're like even in a little bit of pain, if you'll try to like help them, like they'll be like, don't touch me. Like that's Voldemort.
Yeah. It's such
so
like
obnoxious.
Well, and it's such, for him, this is his like fatal flaw, is that he has to be like, he could have taken Harry out already. He could have done it while Harry was tied up. But he had to give a monologue. He had to
the villain's downfall. It's always the downfall that they have to give you all the information of how their plan has come to fruition, only for their plan to not actually come to fruition. So he's like, don't interfere. Harry observes that it looks like he's trying to break the connection. So then Harry's like, oh, interesting. And right as that, he notices that he hears the Phoenix song. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is the sound that I associate with Dumbledore. So now I'm feeling more confident. And then it's like sending him the message of like, you need to make sure the connection doesn't break. And he's like, yeah, for sure. I'll keep this connection going 100%. And then,
she just kept talking about how the wands were vibrating. And I was like, and where can I buy one of these wands?
Wait, that's even better. They're literally in the air. What is going on? Voldemort is like flipping over.
This 6 foot tall, like 85-pound waif of a man
in his billowing robes. Oh my god.
Stupid.
So, Harry then starts concentrating on these beads of light that he's seeing between the two wands because they're at first coming towards the tip of his wand. So he's like, okay, I need to concentrate with everything I have on making these go back towards Voldemort's wand. So that's what he does. Sure enough, he is able to make that happen. At first, the first bead that reaches Voldemort's wand, there's like a scream and a hand comes out. Pettigrew's hand. And then, which I was like, does that make sense to you?
No, but it's really fun, isn't it? Cousin It joins us.
I was just like, why did we need the hand? He cast other spells. He just cast Crucio and Imperius too. Is it because the hand? I don't know. He created the hand. It was weird to me. What spell is that even? I don't know. So it's just so stupid. What is that? So the hand comes out, and then Cedric's
shout out to
ghost.
the hand.
The hand.
Congrats on coming out.
The hand. Give the hand a hand. Then Cedric's ghost, and Harry makes sure, or I guess like Joe makes sure to mention that they look so solid. It's like a gray version of themselves. So even though I'm saying ghosts, they're not like in the film. I feel like they're more like just like spirits, but she described them as more solid. So Cedric comes out. Then the old man Frank. You want to talk about Frank here?
So he comes out and immediately is like, he's the one that killed me. But how would he know that? Because he didn't look like that.
Right? He was a baby. He was a baby child.
He was a little this.
Yeah.
Fine. That's the only thing that I was like, what? I don't know if he'd say that.
Maybe their faces looked alike. It's just weird.
I also didn't like that Bertha Jorkins immediately knew who Harry was, but it's Harry Potter, so I was like, that's fine.
Bertha Jorkins and James actually were BFFs, so she saw him and she knew. But I did want to take a moment, Adam. This is Bertha. She is here. This is the only time.
We're never going to see her again.
The only moment that we have of the Bertha Jorkins. Hello and goodbye.
The incomparable.
That's a wrap on Bertha.
We're never going to see her again. We're never going to mention her name again.
We're never going to say her name again. This was it.
There's never going to be a funeral. I don't think Harry's ever going to tell anybody that Bertha was murdered. Where people are just going to still be confused as to whether or not she's still missing. Like, we don't know.
I think maybe he does mention, he tells Dumbledore at least in the not Pensy, Veritaserum chapter, I think. I don't know.
We'll find out next week.
So I liked this part a lot too. They after Bertha emerges, they all start like doing laps around the dome.
Yeah.
And bullying Voldemort.
Yeah. Yes. They're like whispering sweet nothings to Harry. Like they're like, you are slaying. You are giving us everything.
Girl,
10
you
out
go.
of 10.
Keep going, Harry. You're a disgrace.
You're eating. No crumbs have been left. And then they're like, you don't have a nose.
You look like
trash.
I know that you were a weird corpse baby a second ago. I'm still not over that. That would be my go-to. I would be like, you were a smoke.
Sir, you were a smoke. Did you see that I made the description of last week's episode just he was a smoke?
Oh no. I saw at the end that you made us like dissolve though, and I liked that.
Yeah.
One by one. That's what I thought you were going to say. It was so funny. And as always, a smoke. A smoke. Yeah, so like that was great. I loved that image too. Just them being like, "You're a wreck, bitch.
I
You're a fiddly
liked
slut." Just like
I
know?
liked that when they're connected, there is one point, and it's like after the Phoenix song happens, and we all know why
Mhm.
Phoenixes are important because we've all read the series. But if you don't remember, a Phoenix
If you're
feather is in
unfamiliar.
both Harry and Lord Voldemort's wands, and it's the same Phoenix that has a feather. I will not tell you which Phoenix it is.
I wonder.
There's only one we've met in the book series, so it's probably that one.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a little too convenient for me, but okay.
Everything's convenient. I
know.
liked that they were like after it got really, because the Phoenix song was like, hold on, keep holding on, because you're gonna make it
thrill. Yeah.
And so he's like holding on, and then it gets more intense, and he like has to like truly hold on to keep the spell going, like a fire hose. Like,
it is like that in the movie. It literally, he is like,
yeah. But I like that there's like a moment where she talks about how the wand has gotten so intense that it feels like it could burst into flame at any point.
Right.
And I don't think it's on purpose, but I liked that I was like, oh, like a phoenix bursts into flame. Like I kind of, and I don't think that was intentional, but I just liked that's, you could also associate it that way as well.
Yeah. No, that's true. I didn't think about that. And yeah, that does connect, or can connect with the phoenix for sure. Yeah, that moment when she was talking about that, I didn't think about that at all. So after Bertha, I almost said Bathilda. After Bertha,
wrong.
Harry knows. Yeah,
not all
completely
the
different.
same, Ari. Women can be different people.
My mistake. After I almost did it again. What is wrong? After Bertha, Jesus. After Bertha, Harry knows who is coming next. He can't even explain how he knows, but his gut tells him that his mother is coming. And I guess, yeah, Voldemort was dead for however many years. So yeah, the last person before Bertha that he killed would have been Lily. So nothing happened.
I wanted to see some of these animals that he killed. I wanted to see like a little ferret pop out or whatever.
No. Thank you. That's actually a really good point. The hand is necessary, but Adam, I don't think he had his wand. He couldn't have had his wand. So where was his wand? Who retrieved his wand for him?
Where did his wand go?
A smoke can't hold a wand. So he wasn't.
There's one thing I know about smokes. They can't hold wands.
If there is one thing we know for certain, a smoke is not holding a wand. So where did the wand? Who got the wand? It couldn't have been Pettigrew.
A liquid and a gas and a smoke. And a smoke cannot hold a wand.
I just don't understand. Like, fine, you're a solid, like, child baby corpse thing. You can hold a wand then, fine, whatever. Fine. I don't really believe it, but, like, okay, I'll buy that.
So Voldemort's wand, let's talk about this. Where was it? So Voldemort's wand.
It would have been in a museum somewhere.
Fell at Harry's house. Right.
And then Severus Snape went there, as we all know, to weirdly cradle Lily's dead body.
Oh, God.
So really, Severus Snape would have like snapped that wand in half. For sure. I don't believe Voldemort's wand still exists.
He saved the wand.
Huh?
This means that Severus saved the wand.
Someone took it. I don't know if it was Severus, but like someone got that wand somehow. And how? How would they not have destroyed his wand? I don't believe that someone would have just been like, whatever, that's Voldemort's wand.
Okay, what happened to Voldemort's corporeal form? This is the real question.
It fled to Albania, apparently. Immediately. It was
like his real body became a smoke in that moment? Or like his former body died, but his spirit came out, very like the end of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone when it comes out of Quirrell.
Yeah.
Is it like that, where it's like there was a thing and now his spirit, the smoke,
right?
The smoke comes out and leaves.
I feel like it would have to be that, because that's the only. The reason why he can exist without like a body is because of the Horcruxes. So basically, anytime that the body he is inhabiting is like destroyed, that's what happens to him. Because of the Horcruxes, that he just becomes a smoke.
A smoke, right?
I love that we it's literally become a smoke. So, but then, yeah, that's a huge. What did you say?
Where the fuck? Let me Google this. What happened?
There's no way that his wand survived that. That wand would be destroyed immediately, just out of fear, if for no other reason.
Oh.
Just because it was his wand. Is there a whole thing about it? I'm
on harrypotter.fandom.com. Shout out to them. I am on the Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I am on the article Tom Riddle's Wand. Okay,
here we go.
This is the murder of the Potters, 1980, height of his power, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read all this because we're going to have to talk about it later in the series. He dispatches James. He kills Lily. Was triggered a powerful means of protection. We already know this. Backfired upon rebounding upon Voldemort and ripping him from his body. At that moment, part of Voldemort's unstable soul fragmented and attached itself to the infant Harry Potter. Oh, I can't read the rest of that sentence.
You can cut that. You can cut that.
Okay. At that moment, the remaining part of Voldemort's maimed soul fled the scene. The smoke.
Yeah, the smoke.
Upon his curse rebounding upon himself and obliterating his body, Voldemort's wand fell somewhere nearby the spot where Voldemort had stood while casting the curse on Harry in the ruin of the Potter home. Right. After Brubius Hagrid rescued the infant Harry from the wreckage of the house later that evening, Peter Pettigrew returned to the house and discovered the Dark Lord's wand in the wreckage, taking it with him as he fled the scene in order to prevent the wand from falling into the Ministry's hands, and possibly exposing him as a traitor, since all wands have a record of the spells they have cast and can be examined by those trained to do so. He would keep this wand in an undisclosed location for 12 long years afterwards, until the time when he could locate its true owner once again.
Okay. Fine.
Very convenient. When the fuck is this talked about?
So Peter Pettigrew does
J.K.
that.
Rowling's official site. Great.
Okay. So Peter Pettigrew hid the wand and then immediately went to the Weasleys' home and then spent the next 13 years as a rat.
Yeah, did they buy Peter from a did they buy Scabbers from a pet store, or I don't know.
He just showed up on that farm, which is also a little sus. I'm like, I don't know.
In Ottery St. Catchpole? I don't think so.
Yeah. He's running around with the gnomes. Come on now. So Lily comes out of the wand, and all she says to Harry is, "Your father's coming. Hold on until your father gets here." What I know about Lily Evans Potter. I'm sorry, this woman is not going to come out of the wand in her spirit form, see her child for the first time. They've never seen each other. And that's the only thing she's going to say to him. There's no way that this woman was not like, "I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. Hold on just a little bit longer, sweetie." Like, there is no way. They did this much better in the movie. There's like a whole thing with her where she's like, "You got it. It's okay. You're ready. Let go." Like, it's a whole thing.
Very heartwarming.
I feel like James interacts a little less with him even. Like, it's more about Lily. And I didn't like it. Then immediately when James comes out, he starts telling Harry basically like the plan. which is another thing that I was just like, Lily can't be the one to talk about the plan. Lily can't be the one to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to distract him. Don't worry. Like, we'll help you, sweetie. Like, I was just like, that's literally all his mother says to him. I don't believe that. Especially with what we learn about Lily. I don't believe that. So when James is talking to Harry, oh yeah, go ahead.
It's a bummer that Lily in the series is written in a way where it's like she is subservient to James, and I just A, don't believe it, and B, don't like it.
She also
Those are my issues.
When we do learn about Lily, though, she isn't that way at all.
When we go back in the pensive?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's not her personality at all.
And also, what version of these people are coming out of this spell?
It's got, if it's
Does
like
that
a
make
spirit.
Sense what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. If it's from the spirit world, just them there.
But it can't be. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, because I don't even know what is happening with these what is this spell? Priori Incantatem. So it brings back the
incantations.
So it brings back their previous spells, but yeah, then what version is that? The version of that person at the time? Is it summoning their spirit form like later when Harry has the death stone or what is it? Life stone? What is it?
The blood moon.
Resurrection stone.
The resurrection
the blood moon. The resurrection stone. When he has that, they come forward, and it's like they have they're aware of everything that's happening. Like, I'm guessing it has to be that then. It has to be like that they're just fully aware of what's going on. They just come from wherever they are in the spirit world, basically. So,
or maybe they're just aware of their last moments.
But then how would they know this is Harry and what's going on with him? I'm like, they have to have some awareness of what's happening right now. So it's weird. I just don't like that it's James is the only one with agency, because as we learn later, Lily very much has agency. Plenty. Girl speaks her mind and has plenty of agency. So as James is talking to him and telling him what to do, Cedric also asks Harry to take his body back to his parents. And then pretty quickly after that, James tells Harry to go. This was where I made my note that I liked that Lily was more involved in the film, because I didn't like that. The ghosts swarm Voldemort. And Harry races towards Cedric's body. And as he races towards Cedric's body, he can hear Voldemort asking the Death Eaters to stun him. But Harry reaches Cedric as this is being yelled, as people are yelling and trying to stun him and stuff. He does send, what was the spell? He sends a spell over his shoulder. Impedimenta. Why didn't you try? He didn't try that spell at all. So he tries Impedimenta now over his shoulder. And then when he reaches Cedric, he still has to Accio the cup. But he does just in time to hear Lord Voldemort's yell of rage. And then the portkey takes him and Cedric back to Hogwarts. Or is taking them back when this chapter ends.
Correct.
That's it.
They're mid-transport.
Mid-transport. That's it. That's the chapter.
Wow. We did it in under an hour.
We did. This one wasn't too long. I think it was 25 minutes maybe.
It wasn't too long though. But there's a lot. It's a heavy on lore. It's heavy on moments.
Not heavy on Lily though. No. And I'm not into it.
No.
Boo.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ari. It was great work. Truly incredible. That wraps up this chapter. Next week we'll be reading chapter 35 called Veritaserum. Get ready, because it's going to be a long one.
This is my favorite chapter in this book.
The explanation of everything.
Yes.
The threads coming together.
Yes, I love it.
We have no review, so you can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and on Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect Newt score, 5 stars only, or else you'll be met with the astral projections of those your arch nemesis has killed before. Very specific. There's a lot of factors that go into that one. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at HP and on Twitter and Instagram at HP Anxious, and YouTube and TikTok at the Ampliverse. TikTok. We are hosted on Anchor and recorded on Zencastr, so thank you to the both of them. And we are a proud member of the Ampliverse. Please check them out at theampliverse.com. Ari, thank you.
You're welcome.
And as always, Expelliarmus would say Harry.
As always. For Harry, always.
Up until the end of the epilogue in book 7. Expelliarmus. That's the girl. Okay, bye.